You just let me know when you want to answer the question, or if you don't want to answer the question, send it to me. And
It
if
is
I can't answer,
7:44 KNEB, and we're looking for another warm afternoon. Chance of some thunderstorms. It is time for today's News Extra program, brought to you by First State Bank. Here is Kevin.
Thank you, Dennis, and good morning, everyone. And pleased to have in the studio today Darrell Lewis and Don Gable. And we're going to talk about the Vietnam Veterans Reunion, the Nebraska Vietnam Veterans Reunion, coming up this weekend, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And I'll let one of you guys talk about the fact that the Nebraska Vietnam Veterans Reunion is one of the unique and most premier reunion events for veterans across the country. Isn't that right?
Yeah, it is.
We'll let Don do that.
It is, and the reason it is we draw veterans from 7 to 9 states. We get a group from Colorado, Wyoming, South Dakota. I've seen Nevada, Arizona, Nebraska. So it's unique that it draws people from that far away, and especially when you look at gas prices and all the other things going on, it makes it pretty special.
Yeah, it moves around the state each year.
Every year it goes to a different location, and it rotates supposedly about every 5 or 6 years. We've had it in 1999 and 2004, and we don't know where it will be next year.
And this year, you guys have how many people registered already? Almost 300.
Almost 300, and I guess kind of the unique thing with it this year is the 50th anniversary of the start of the Vietnam War. Started in, I think, December 4th, officially December 4th, 1961. So we're hosting the reunion in the 50th anniversary of the Vietnam War, the start of the Vietnam War.
So that's kind of pretty special.
Yeah, it is.
And I think everybody, and it's not just guys, but it's gals too anymore that are veterans. They like coming out here. They really do. From what I can tell, the last time they were here, they loved it.
They do. They like coming out here, and there's 2 or 3 reasons why they do. Is the history out here. Darrell masterminded a Wild West tour and steak feed with fur traders and women dressed up in the 1800s, and they do a bus tour, and they end up down in Baird at Rick's for a steak feed down there, and they just. The history, the things that I've heard the past 2 times is the history and how pretty it is out here, and how the people treat them out here.
Yeah.
That's the 3 big things.
Yeah. All right. So let's get Darrell in here, talk about what we're going to do for 3 days, because this is kind of an educational thing. There's time for fun. There's time for a lot of different things. And,
yeah, absolutely.
And that's the whole deal, right?
You betcha. Kevin, it's actually, it starts Thursday afternoon with registration at the Civic Center from 1 until 7. During that time, we'll start a barbecue at the American Legion at 4 o'clock. So registered veterans can bring their spouses and come through, and their grandkids or whatever, and come through the line and get a really good barbecue dinner. And later on that evening, we'll have a DJ at that's the Gehring American Legion, and we'll be doing raffles. So, and speaking of raffles, we've got about $4,000 worth of raffles that we're going to be giving away during the 4-day event, and it's really going to be super. We're so excited about having the opportunity to host this for the rest of the veterans in the region.
All right, let's talk about some of the things you guys are doing over the 4 days before we get into the seminars and so forth that starts out. But let's talk about some of the fun things that you're going to do and some of the folks that are going to help you out.
Well, like you just said, we're going to have some fun things. We also have some educational stuff we'll cover in just a few minutes. But some of the fun things, golf tournaments, bowling. Don already mentioned the Wild West steak feed.
Tell me a little bit more about this Wild West steak feed. Huh?
Well, people, like Don said, the history of this area, we're just rich in history, and there's so much potential here to be developed further than what's already been developed. But people come out here and they still talk about the Wild West steak feed from 2004. And it was the first thing to fill up on registration. So we load them in buses. We put historical characters on board the buses that talk about the valley and the history as we go down to the Oregon Trail wagon train. And then when we get there, we have individuals in character from that era, the early 1800s, talking about, in character, talking about their day and what they've done and what they're going to do, and just basking the people that are there in the history of the area. It's really cool. And then we come back, we load them on the buses, and we come back, and at the end of the Wild West Steak Feed, we have a Doka Jovi coming out of Fort Collins, which is a great little band, and it's going to be playing on Friday night. And we also have another band on Saturday night. It's going to be Brown Sugar playing that. So we got a lot of stuff going.
Yeah, and you got Mr. Larson from here. Craig Larson's going to be a special guest speaker, and he's kind of coming in a little different get-up than normal.
That's right, Kevin. We're going to have Craig Larson, who is the manager here at KNEB. He's coming in character as Jess Edmondson, and Jess Edmondson was the last World War I doughboy in Nebraska, and he's coming. Craig is coming in character as Jess Edmondson with a special message for all the veterans on Saturday night at the banquet. So it should be a lot of fun.
It really should. And then you got Rita Stinner's group coming in to sing for you and do an all services tribute.
Yeah, that was awesome. Rita's going to be there with a group called Just Bluffin'. She volunteered to do this, and it takes a lot of resource and energy to get this done, but the kids at Western Nebraska Community College and Rita have been very cooperative, and we really appreciate their efforts. But they're going to be doing a tribute on Sunday morning at the breakfast at the closing ceremonies, and singing America, and then moving into a tribute to each one of the armed services. It should be really great. And again, registrations start on Thursday afternoon, Friday. If you can't make it for all 4 days, you can come in any day and get a one-day registration. We have that capability.
All right. Is there, what's the cost for this?
$40. $40, believe it or not, Kevin. For $40, you get two bands, you get the Torrington Fiddlers, you get the Green Valley Homesteaders, you get 3 meals and heavy hors d'oeuvres, plus a lot of education.
And beer garden and all that stuff.
Yep.
And we're going to talk about the education. We'll take a quick 30-second break.
We all Rita Stinner from Upper Dice.
Oh, really?
I just got a message from her this morning. Well,
yeah,
I got to call her back. She said she was going to try to make it by Sunday, but if not, Becky Kugler would do the piano. But don't say anything.
No, we won't say anything.
We got about 2 minutes, so we got to quickly go through that.
F-16s. Let's talk about opening ceremonies. Who's going to be there? Why don't you do that? F-16s.
We don't need to.
I talked too much.
Yeah, we can talk.
Okay.
All right, we are back on News Extra talking about the Vietnam Veterans Reunion coming up this Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Darrell Lewis and Don Gable are here to talk about that. We talked about some of the fun stuff going on. We got opening ceremonies and seminars also at the Civic Center, right?
Right. The opening ceremonies are at the Scottsbluff County Administration Building on the west side at the Veterans Memorial Park, where we just here a year or so ago built the Iraq-Afghanistan Memorial. Opening ceremonies will be short, and it'll be highlighted by a flyover of 4 F-16s from Buckley. That's always in limbo until it actually happens. Hopefully headed up by our own General Mike Edwards from Lyman, Nebraska. So that's going to, if they make it, that'll be a highlight there.
And 3 o'clock on Friday.
3 o'clock on Friday. Get there early. Parking is really tough at the courthouse. And there will be all kinds of veterans there. World War II, Korea, Iraq, Vietnam. So it'll be a good ceremony.
Yeah. And then you have the seminars real quick at the Gearing Civic Center through Friday and Saturday, right?
Yeah, they're concurrent, Kevin. We have 2 in the morning on Friday, 1 in the afternoon on Friday, and 1 in the morning on Saturday. So you can enjoy all the other activities and participate in your camaraderie and all that stuff, besides still be able to pick up on some of the seminars. Tears of a Warrior, PTSD. Seminar B is the Vietnam Oral History Project, which is Texas Tech University coming out of Lubbock, and they're going to be capturing stories and locations of units and things like that. Seminar C is the Veterans Administration, the Social Security Administration and the Vets Administration will be doing a panel on what's in your future, the good, the bad, and the ugly. We're going to talk about a lot of different things. And finally, Seminar D is a workshop to help you understand how VA works and if you have an issue that needs to be dealt with, how to get it in the system and stuff like that.
Okay, real quick, want to hit the website big time. We want to do that. Tell people where to go on the website and.
Okay, everything's on www.vetsreunion.com. That's VETS reunion.com. www.vetsreunion.com.
All right, real easy to do. Register on Thursday if you want, if you haven't registered already, or on the website, and get involved in this for the weekend. Thanks, Don, Darrell. Appreciate you guys coming in.
Thank you.
All right, back to you, Dan.